to the Wedding Wednesday report. Today we're coming to you live from the Tower Hotel in London. As you can probably see the bridge behind me. It's very exciting. We're here today for the Wedding Ideas Awards, and Zoe, our UK sales consultant for the UK Academy of Wedding and Event Planning, is here with me, and I thought it would be a great time to take some time out and chat to Zoe about some of her top tips for people coming into the wedding industry. So Zoe, most of our students, although they want to finish the course and they want to start their own business, there's also that fear and trepidation of the first consultation that they do with the bride and groom. It can be daunting, it can be frightening, and yes, although they've been dying to get their first client, when they get that first client, it's a case of, what do I do now? What do I say when I'm in the consultation? What am I going to talk about? How am I going to make them feel at their ease? So can you maybe give us some of your top tips of how to relax the bride and groom, what to say to them when they arrive or when you arrive with them, and just things that you've learned in the past have worked for you?
Yeah, because it's something that you wait for and you think, you know, that first, and then you get a phone call or an email and suddenly it's like, oh, panic, I've got to go now and I've got to be a wedding planner. You know, you don't have to be a wedding planner, but you do have to sell yourself as the company that you have advertised yourself as.
And let's face it, they're buying you, aren't they?
Yeah, they're buying you. So as long as you know who you are and you're going out to sell them what you know you can do yourself and achieve, you're fine. So you be confident with that to start off with. You're fine. You know, you've got your website, you've got your brand, you'll be fine. You've probably spoken to them on the phone or by email, so you'll have a little bit of information. If sometimes they're very keen to meet straight away, very excited, just got engaged, then I would sometimes send them a questionnaire in advance.
Okay.
So could you just answer a few of these questions for me and then email me something back? So that gives them something to think about.
So they've got something tangible and they're a little bit more committed then as well.
Yeah, and it also buys you a bit of time. So it buys you some time to just get your head around it, to think about what you're doing, to perhaps, if you haven't already, got everything in place ready for that first meeting.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it is a surprise. You know, you've only just advertised something or you've done a promotion and
the first person's come through.
Yeah, and even if it's free work, that's still scary. So I remember in the beginning I did some freebies for a radio show and a wedding fair offering free hours.
Yeah.
And even when that first, somebody I'd got to go and meet and they weren't paying, a paying client.
It's still a daunting prospect, isn't it?
Absolutely. So give them some information first.
So that would be your first tip.
Yeah, build a little bit of a relationship safely over email.
Yeah.
If you're going to meet them relatively soon and they're not that worried or interested in getting in touch before then, that's fine. You know, you just go straight out for that first meeting.
Okay.
They don't know how many weddings you've done.
No, that's very true.
They have no idea how many.
You need to be aware of.
And you need to think about that and how you present yourself.
Yeah.
You know, there's no point in telling them I've never had a. You know, don't give them that information. Don't make yourself feel uncomfortable or them. Don't lie, but go there with that confidence. You will already have thought about telling them information about things that you've prepared before, because you will have done some kind of work experience. You will have some experience, even if it's being an event for the PTA, whatever it's been, a family party, you will have done something. So those are skills, even if you've never done a wedding, those are skills that you should use and feel confident with when you go there. So when I go there, want them to feel comfortable.
Yeah, you want to put them at their ease so that they're willing to talk to you.
Absolutely. And they're obviously looking at you and your personality to see if you'll match and if they trust you with their wedding.
Yeah.
So you want to be somebody that they're going to like. That's important as well. So, but I usually get them talking about themselves, what they like, what they know.
Why they wanted to get married in the first place.
When they first met, things like that. And often they're not prepared for that. You know, they're thinking you're going to talk about the wedding. So they kind of like that. And that takes it back for them.
It takes the pressure off as well.
Back to when they first met. And you learn quite a lot from people that way.
And do you find they tend to open up a lot better that way? And they're more willing to talk to you?
Yeah, I think they do, and I think it just gives you a little bit of time just to settle into the conversation.
Yeah.
If you arrive and you've got a speech prepared, it's not great.
It never works, does it? It sounds too prepared. Then if you forget part of it, all of a sudden you've gone off the script and you forget where you are. Yeah, it doesn't work.
So I think, let them talk, let them tell you. They'll love to, they'll be excited, and they'll love to tell you all of their ideas. Obviously give them some guidance along the way, some things, some helpful suggestions, but don't give too much information away.
Yeah.
So it's a first consultation. You're not expected to tell them everything. You're not expected to give them venue ideas, stay.
And that's an important piece of information right there, because if you give too much away, then they've got no reason to hire you, because there will be those people that are on a fact-finding mission as well.
Yeah. So just relax. That first consultation I give is free for an hour, usually about an hour. I ask them to think about weddings or events they've been to, what they've liked, what they remember. They usually find that quite interesting, quite insightful. Oh yeah, do you remember? And it gets a conversation between the two of them as well. Because surprisingly, when I go to these first meetings, they often haven't talked together about what they wanted for their wedding. And I always find, that's strange. But I suppose I was the same as well. You each have your ideas. You're getting married.
You don't necessarily talk about them together.
No, so sometimes that's quite interesting to get them reflecting together.
And it gives you an understanding of the dynamic between the couple as well, which is quite important.
Yeah, and they like that. They enjoy that. And then thirdly, you don't want too much information from them. You don't want every detail. You don't want to know the colour of the bridesmaids. So I get them to
not at that point.
No, just 3 things that they really, really both want. That can be tricky for them to sort of agree. Because he'll say, I want a fab car, I want, and she'll say, the best dress, but usually there's some middle ground.
There's some common ground somewhere.
Yeah. Usually. And then that's it. That's really all you need to know. I do take down a few more details about perhaps if it's going to be a church ceremony. Yeah. But those things come out of the conversation anyway. Yeah. You don't really need to
ask the questions.
No. And in that hour, that's usually plenty.
Well, Zoe, that really is quite insightful, and it's going to be very helpful for anybody wanting to get into the wedding industry but feeling a little bit nervous about how to make that first move.
Yeah.
And what you do in that first consultation. So that just about wraps it up for this week's Wedding Wednesday report. Looking forward to chatting to you next week, and we'll see you all soon.